Hello humans and other species, I'm 𝐋𝐢𝐧𝐤𝐬, and today we are going to take a look at how to smooth things out, how to smooth animations, transitions, pictures, anything that we add to screen, anything that has movement on screen. We're going to see two really simple ways on how to smooth those transitions. So to help us with that, I have some random footage from a video that I've done recently. It's just so we have a clip on the background. For the first example, we are going to add some text to it. Let's say we want to have some text appear on screen and disappear after a while. So first, let's adjust the text a little bit so we can actually see what's going on. Let's say this is our title, maybe it says the chapter or something like this, right? So we want to go to settings, and on settings, not on layout. And from here, let's say at the beginning of the clip, we just wanted to go outside of the frame and appear after a while. So on the position on the X coordinate, let's just move it to the left. Let's keyframe this, go a bit forward, and let's bring it back into the middle. And let's do the same at the end. This side more or less. Let's keyframe this, and at the very end, let's move it to the other side. And we already have the animation. The only issue is that it's a really blunt animation. It just slows up, it stops suddenly, and then it suddenly moves out and stuff. And the speed is always the same, it's just not smooth looking. So now we move at the very start of the clip where we have the first keyframe. Now we right click on the keyframe on the red box and we click on ease out. This is going to ramp up the start of the animation so it doesn't start abruptly and it doesn't keep the same speed. It's just going to ramp up slowly the speed. Then on the next keyframe, if you just click one of those arrows to move to the next keyframe, on this one we want to end that animation, we want to end this transition, so we click on ease in. This is going to make it smoother, it's going to ramp up the speed, and at the end it's going to ramp down the speed again. So it doesn't just stop suddenly, it slows down a little bit before it stops. And on the next ones we are going to do the same. At the start of it we're going to ease out, and at the end of it we're going to ease in. So that again is going to first ramp up the speed and then ramp down the speed. And it makes for a much better, much smoother animation instead of just being so abruptly all the time. This is something that we can also do from the Fusion page and it's a bit more visual to see it. So if we click on the Fusion tab, or alternatively we just right click, open in Fusion page, we are going to see this screen with the media in and the media out. What we want to do is add a text like before, at least for this example. We connect it to the media in, we get ourselves a merger, and let's say we call it best text. And just like before, we just place it down, and we want to have it go into the frame and going out of the frame, just like we did before. So on this frame, on the very first frame, we're just going to get it out of here. From this angle, for example, this one we can do it from the layout, we can do it from the merger, wherever you want. We're just going for this example, we're going to do it for the layout. And we just do the same as before, we keyframe this. Now we move it a few frames, maybe 60, which will be a couple of seconds, maybe 3 seconds actually, to 90. And we bring it back into the middle of the screen. And at the end we do the same. If this ends in 230, maybe start here or something. We keyframe it again, we go to the end, and we move it out of the frame. So now we have the same 4 keyframes that we had before. Now what we want to do, instead of touching from the keyframes like we did before, we want to do this spline tab. If it's not showing, it should probably be a text tab here to display it. And once we have that window, we shall see something like this. This is basically the animation that we just created. It goes from 0 to 0.5, which is the middle of the screen, and from 0.5 to whichever number is this, 0.8 or something. So it goes out of the screen. But you can see very visually that it's just a very linear progression. So if we select these two, for example, and we shift S, it's already going to give us this smooth transition. This is basically what the is out and is in is doing. But in here we can adjust it further if we wanted a little bounce or something. Maybe actually let's do that. Let's add a little bounce at the end. And here let's do the same. We shift S and it creates the curve. So now if we go backwards, we'll be able to see here a little bit of a bounce. And again, it's going to be much smoother to go out of here. If you don't want the bounce, obviously just shift S again. Anything that you touch, just by pressing shift S again, is going to default to this smooth transition. And this goes for anything that you do on the Fusion tab, like literally anything. If you change the color of the text, for example, let's keyframe here on this color, and let's move it here, for example, and let's touch the red or something, and let's touch the blue as well. Obviously this is messing things out because it's the background, but you can grab this color and you can, let's remove the display sim for a quick second. You can grab this color and you can shift S again, and you have a smoother ramp up even on the color itself, which is very useful for some things. For example, if you're touching the alpha and stuff like that, it's quite useful. It makes all of the animations feel a lot smoother if you have it that way. And one last thing that we can do is, if we select the keyframes that we want, we can also right click on it, and here we can see the things that we just touched. Right now we just click the shift S, so we did the smoothing. We can shift L, for example, and it's the linear one again. We can do smooth points, so there is more options going on here, and inside of ease there is a lot more options, and you can try out this out and see which one fits better for you. But usually for me the smoothing ones tends to be quite enough. But yeah, this is as easy as it gets. I hope it was useful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one. Bye bye!